Repairing a loose stock on Woodman Arms Patriot muzzleloading rifle. William Hovey Smith, 2016. I am the author of Extreme Muzzleloading. And here we took the Patriot rifle out, and we had some problems with it first off, which I had to correct. And this is the story of the Patriot rifle's first deer with which it was involved. But it didn't quite kill. Later in the morning, two does came by. I watched them for a while. So after moving the stand, I shot at this small doe, a bad case of ground shrink, and apparently nicked the back leg. Why was it such a terrible hit at 50 yards? As it turns out, the stock is loose. Bad loose. Worse now even than I shot it. To complete the story, I ultimately killed the deer with my backup Remington 1858 Sheriff's Model pistol. Sometimes desperate conditions require desperate measures. And that is a case that we're looking at here with this Patriot rifle. You notice the stock? That is too loose. The solution is simple. There is a through bolt that runs through here. And a tool must be inserted through the stock to tighten an Allen bolt, which is here. But to do that, one must remove the butt plate. The butt plate has two Phillips head screws here, which I have removed. Now I tried to do some strong wraps here to actually break the butt plate off the butt of the gun. But I have been unsuccessful in doing that. I don't want to put more force on the stock for fear of either breaking the stock, which is very expensive, or buggering these screws. So what I'm going to do is use my fence here on my bandsaw and actually cut this hard plastic here. Cut it off parallel. This butt plate already has some contrasted bands, and this is probably welded together with glue bonds. So I'm just going to cut it here to access the hole and then glue it back together and do a little polishing on the outside if I need to readdress the fit of the butt plate. So that's how we're going to solve this problem. But first, I need to adjust the fence. So this adjustment will allow me to cut this piece of plastic, and that way I'll be able to solve this problem. Okay, that portion of the butt plate has been removed, but I'll now need to probe with a drill and find out where actually the center hole is for that through bolt. We'll now see if we can do some probing and find the location of that hole. We'll know it'll obviously be in the center line here, and probably about here, I would suspect. Yep. It's angled up through there. So that is where it is. We'll put in some larger bits and enlarge it now. I'm now enlarging out the hole in the plastic just to give easier access for whatever tool we might have to build. There. That's a much better rendition of the hole. This is our tool that we're going to be using to extract that Allen bolt Now we've already done some modifications to it. This is of course a piece of aluminum ramrod. We drilled a hole here. We've also drilled down in here and put this section of steel Allen wrench, and we've shoe gooed it with some sand cement in here to hold it down. And what we're going to do in addition is to drill a hole through both pieces so we can put a cross piece here to firmly affix it. Well, we have a little problem in that the drill bit is too small in diameter to chuck up tightly in this chuck. So we've taken our duct tape and wrapped it. So we're going to use it and see if we can get a good enough bite in the chuck now so that we'll be able to hold it firmly in place and keep it centered. Okay, that's as tight as I can tighten it by hand. Okay, that is through the aluminum rod, but has bypassed the steel Allen wrench, I believe. Yeah, it's taken it and it has pushed it to one side. Nonetheless, it may be sufficient to hold it. You'll have to see. We have braided that nail in, so now we'll see if we can do it. That sounded good. That is tighter than it was. Well, it's in the wee hours of the morning now, and we're getting our Patriot rifle ready to reassemble. Now, this is the tool we ultimately made. I had to recut another piece of rod and drill with a 3/16 drill here to adapt this length of 3/16 Allen wrench to fit this 3/16 inch headed bolt. Yeah, so we got all that done. It looks quite simple now, but it wasn't when you were working altogether blind. Now, Mark had mistakenly told me that this was a 1/4 inch Allen fitting. It turned out not to be. So we now have it disassembled, and we're going to put it back together. Now, Mark had used some silicone glue between the stock and his aluminum frame here. Now, the aluminum frame has a steel insert to actually catch these threads to give a stronger fitting than it would be if it was straight screwed into aluminum, and that's a good thing. So we're going to apply some shoe goo here so it'll catch these edges. Here and here. That's a generous amount. And I'm keeping it a little bit away from this part right there, although some might seep down. Now, I'm also have cleaned these threads now with alcohol. So this shoe goo will take a bond on here. This is like putting on Loctite. So this will help keep this bolt from backing off again under recoil or for any other reason. So that's on there. Fortunately, during all this process, these thin wings did not get cracked or broken. So that's a good thing. So the stock is still sound. We don't have to replace the stock. All we have to do is bolt it back together again. So carefully, we take and we push back in together, like that. Take this, insert it back into the stock. All right. Now, yeah, we're through. All right. And then see if we can start catching up these threads here. Okay. Yeah, I think they're grabbing. Come on. They are coming together. All right. Now we give them a little torque. There are two washers in there that are catching up. Now that's all, guys. You don't twist this thing within an inch, absolute inch of its life, or put absolutely all the pressure you can on it. You see, this is a small wrench. You don't want to break the stock. You want it firmly fitted because the glue bond will hold. It's rebounding against the pressure, as you can see. That's it. All right. Then straight pull out your tool here. Easier said than done, as it turns out. Well, the tool may stay in there. Now, what about this butt plate here? I cut it off with a bandsaw. And what I'm going to do is, after I get this thing out of there, is to put a layer of beeswax on here, hot beeswax. Then use that as a glue to hold the butt plate on and then attach the screws. That way I can easily detach this butt plate again. This hole is actually useful. In it, you can put, for example, a spare load. You can roll up a $100 bill or as much as you want to put in there just to have some spare money on your hunt. Okay? You can put some matches in there for a survival situation. So these holes in these butt stocks are intrinsically useful for hunters. So it's nice to have actually some ready access to them rather than have everything all permanently glued up together. With this beeswax bond, that'll keep all the water out, but it'll be something I can break off with a wrap of a hammer or a hard piece of wood. We have repaired our buttstock here, and it is no longer loose. We've reloaded the Patriot rifle with a Barnes Beastbuster bullet and 90 grains of blackhorn powder. So we're going to fire a confirming shot and see if we're still on target after all of the modifications we've made with the gun. In case you missed it, there it is, right there, within an inch. Aiming with a red dot sight at 50 yards at a 1-inch bow Yeah, this gun will kill deer. So now we'll clean it and take it out in the field. So for now, this is Hovey Smith, reminding you to hunt what you eat and eat what you hunt. Be legal, be ethical, be safe. Goodbye, God bless, and see you next time. This shows you a close-up of the final target as well as the projectile I used. Now, what was in that box? Now, that was my award of excellence for the entrepreneurial project for founding a new company, Hovey's Knives of China. And here is the logo for it. Now, at Hovey's Knives of China, we take knives of ancient Chinese designs that haven't been seen for 1,000 years, and we make them out of modern materials, and their performance will equal or better any culinary knives made today. Now, the reason I fired that confirming shot was to just make sure that that Beastbuster bullet and red dot sight was still sighted in. Now, I do have previous videos about the Woodman rifle and will have more. For more information about it, you can go to www.woodmanarms.com. For information on my books, blogs, and more than 525 videos, go to my website, www.hoveysmith.com. Good hunting and good eating from the outdoors. Goodbye, and God bless.